everyone and welcome back to the Wave Saints. Today we're going to be talking to you about St. George.
And he is the patron of soldiers and countries like Russia, England and Georgia.
The day that St. George was born is debated about and is unknown, but he was born to a Roman officer and a Greek native from Lydia. His parents were Christians, and do you know what,
Weren't they both from noble families?
Yeah, they were from noble families, and he was taught his Christian ways.
When George was old enough, he decided to join Diocletian's army. In his late 20s, he had become a royal guard for Diocletian himself. But in February 24th, 303 AD, Diocletian passed an order that he wanted every Christian who was in the royal army to be removed from their post. But George, who was a Christian, he didn't like that idea, so he told Diocletian himself that he was a Christian. But Diocletian wanted to keep it a secret because he was friends with George's father. Yes. But when George went around announcing his beliefs to his friends, Diocletian couldn't keep it a secret anymore.
In an effort to save George from execution, Diocletian had tried his best to convert him to believing in the Roman gods. And on many occasions, Diocletian had asked him even to offer sacrifices to these Roman gods, but George had refused to do so, which had then led to Diocletian having to have him executed. In preparation for his execution, St. George had helped the poor by giving them money, and he had undergone many torture sessions.
One of these torture sessions was the Wheel of Swords, where there was a wheel and you was made to lie on it while it kept on cutting you. He almost died from this 3 times, and then he recovered very well from it. On April 23rd, 303 AD, he was beheaded and outside of the city walls, and his body was taken for burial back to Lydda, and lots of Christians came there to honour him as a martyr. According to legend, St. George had killed a monster while he was serving as a soldier. The story goes like this. One day in a town, there was a monster who blocked the river where people would come and get water. So they decided to give it some sheep so it would move away from the water where they could peacefully and safely get some water. But one day they ran out of sheep, so they decided to give female young people to the monster. So they decided to draw straws for it. Every female person, including the princess, was put into the basket, and whoever drew the shortest straw would have to be sacrificed. One day, the princess's straw was drawn, and she was required to be sacrificed. The king at that time didn't like this, and he begged the people not to let his daughter be killed. But the people didn't want this, as they saw this as unfair. So while she was being sacrificed, St. George came and killed the monster with a lance. After this, the king was so happy that his daughter was alive that he decided to give money to St. George. Legend says that St. George took the money and gave it to every single poor person in the city. Seeing this, that George had killed the monster, and then the king asked, how did he do it? He said he called on God's name to help him. Hearing this, the whole town converted from paganism to Christianity.
St. George is a saint that stands out among many saints, and he is well known and revered among Muslims and Christians. St. George's feast day is celebrated on April the 23rd, and if this falls before Christmas, St. George...
Isn't it Easter?
Easter. If St. George's feast falls before Easter, it will be celebrated on Easter Monday. St. George was chosen as England's patron saint in the year 1350 by King Edward III. St. George was admired for his bravery, and
isn't he really popular with European knights?
Yeah, he's really popular with European knights because he showed his bravery and he had shown like resilience and stuff.
Yes.
So Nevin, how can we portray Saint George's life? Like how can we follow his example?
So he always prayed to God when he got in trouble, like how he's being persecuted because he didn't denounce his faith. So we can learn this by keeping ourselves loyal and keeping our trust and being loyal to things that we love. For example, I can always be loyal by saying the truth and not by lying. So we can reflect his manner by doing stuff which are really small in our daily lives.
So on that note, Saint George,
Pray for us.